Alright, we have a new chapter of Boku no Hero Academia. This one is 229. We continue the fight with Twice against a small army of his clones as they try to drag him in to recruitment to the Liberation Army. It's not quite clear to me here if this is clones from his backstory or if these are anthropomorphized objects made by the social media Gorilla's Whiz man, whose name eludes me right now. But either way, it doesn't matter too much for Twice himself. He is looking extremely traumatized, his mask flung off, then his whole body flung away. I think it looks like they're going for Toga, but they said they're recruiting him. They're ripping Toga's equipment off of her, I guess trying to neutralize her. Meanwhile, one of the clones giving Twice the once-over. Guys, anyway, you look like me, but who are you really? So here he's looking at what looks like a whole bunch of webcams. Maybe they have like GoPros strapped to them. And he's seeing all of his little army's perspectives simultaneously. The dealer guy here, the broker, who of course enlisted both Twice and Toga, really concerned by the updates he's overhearing. But I'm wondering, when he's typing on the computer like this, is he actually controlling these people on like kind of a minute level, like playing a video game? The voice commands seem like they're doing something too. But I don't know, like what else could he be typing right now? Is he also just texting with his friend? Like, yo, what's up? You trying to eat later? You seen Avengers Endgame yet? You want to hit a matinee? But I don't know. I also like that this guy is just constantly holding his laptop in place for him. That's like his entire job. It really shows just the power of his quirk that he has these people just at his disposal. Let's interrupt him now. Ability to puppeteer unless you want another lame lecture. It's handling Bugawada and Toga with the puppets he's created. So waters momentarily stay back and hit out of danger. Puppets he's controlling all look like Twice. It's proprietary comms network and microtransceivers from Detnarat. That, of course, is the hero supply company whom we first kind of investigated when we were first learning about the Meta Liberation Army. Manipulates puppets with deadly precision. So yeah, I think he's actually directly controlling them with these commands. It's kind of cool. It has like a fun video gamey sort of appeal. That would actually be interesting to play like a superhero RTS or something like that. Anyways, client data gives us information on his psychological scars. Knowing that Toga will die, Galaga will be ours. That'll hit him twice as hard. Hey, that's his name. But yeah, this is actually pretty tragic in a way. These are definitely some of the more sympathetic characters in the League of Villains. And to have this man here who so far we haven't seen at all as sympathetic. He provided the bullets that nullified Lemillion Senpai's quirk, which of course was very tragic and sad. He was involved then also in the exploitation of Eri. But in this moment, you know, the concern he shows for these two, knowing that he was the one that got them into this situation in the first place, it's pretty brutal. Toga. Oh my god. This is like way more brutal than I could have anticipated. I thought they would just, you know, carry her away and there would be an implied death. Well, I mean, first off, I still doubt that Toga is going to die. Toga is outrageously popular as a character. You know how many people I saw cosplaying Toga at Anime North? Literally a disturbing number. Like, it started to actually kind of freak me out, given that this girl is quite the character, to say the least. And I would bet that a lot of these people haven't read those recent manga chapters that we've read, where she's portrayed sympathetically, or even if they did, they wouldn't have had time to do so, and then make their costume. So they committed to being Toga before they kind of knew her deal. Um, so it was like, all right, well, you do you. I mean, more power to you, but that's a little disturbing. Speaking of disturbing, though, yeah, so I don't think she's gonna die. Even now, I don't think she's gonna die, but this is like really, really disturbing to be pinned down watching clones of yourself twist the head and break the neck of your dear friend and comrade in arms, whom you've gone through so much with. It's like way more brutal and physical than I ever could have imagined them portraying in this series. I kind of like that this villain center's arc has this darker tone. Things are more brutal. There's torture and violence and blood everywhere. I mean, there's plenty of that in the heroic arcs too, but it feels like it's been kicked up a notch. Like, oh my god, this is like actually like I think it's gonna haunt me. Is this a spread? No, not really. I'm her killer. It's me. Is it really me? Really me? Am I the real one or not? Splitting apart. Am I not me? Who am I? I am. So we cut to a flashback. It's kind of interesting that we had the long Toga flashback. I'm predicting quite a long twice flashback here. And then the ringleader, Shigaraki, had that wonderful disjointed flashback with like meta commentary complaining about the insufficiency of the flashback. It really shows that even among these villains, there's another layer of isolation, another kind of layer of alienation that he's feeling. At least these guys can, in these moments of crisis, string together a narrative. Okay, anyway, so twice, back in the day, no one, no family. Something about my eyes always rubbed people the wrong way, scared them. Broke the arm of a young man you ran down with your motorcycle. All started going downhill when I was 16. Into the road without any warning, so obeying the speed limit. In a case like this, you're still to blame as well. Ah, okay, it's kind of brutal. And you can tell his injuries here are likely from the same accident. This is why you always have to have those dash cams. We are unfortunately living in a dash cam era, I think. I know if I drove, I wouldn't drive without one. Just because otherwise it's too, just something so terrible can happen. And it's going to be terrible no matter what. But then it can also just ruin your life. On top of the psychological damage. Bounce back. The officer couldn't have known, me neither, just how far a person can fall from one little stumble. Oh boy. Look at these repercussions. Canceling all their contracts with us now. Don't care much about a job that puts a roof over your head and a shirt on you. Get the hell out of here, you're bad luck. So 16 years old, no family, no friends, nothing. Now without a job. Folks died when I was in middle school. Killed in some villain attack. Whoa. I like that. You know, in any other series, they would just say car crash. And I guess this is maybe the equivalent, but now it's a little better, because now there's still potential. That depending on how far they go with this character, they could have him confront this villain, or get some sort of closure or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, modern society, when you're someone without roots, not a lot of people can relate to that. I just wanted someone to talk to. Ah. All I wanted was someone who could trust me in return. Himself. Talking to himself. Homeless under the bridge. Finally needs someone that can understand. Himself. Had a blast. Since life starts spiraling, that's the one thing they want. Comfort. Am I wrong? Going after that single-mindedly, one mistake after another. Yes, yes. This is an interesting thing. Someone's life starts spiraling. What's the one thing they want? Comfort. I think that's true. I think too often we think that people are behaving irrationally because they're not moving towards a solution to their problems. That the things they're doing aren't actually going to change the problems in their lives. But really, it's because they're just looking for comfort, right? It's because they just want to feel like they're going to survive the feeling of having these problems, and that solving them creates effort or requires effort and energy and responsibility and ability that they might just not have. They may not think they have at any rate. Yeah, this is quite a story. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom that I realized my biggest mistake of all. Couldn't even trust myself. Hearing you right, you witnessed your other selves killing each other, Josie, you little baddie. Yup, that's fair enough. This is when he starts covering his face at any cost. Doubles I make, they vanish after taking enough damage. Grown man baking bone would do the trick so you can learn on edge. Razor cares for me. Crime spree near doubles went on, but you're on the most wanted list nationwide. They bring down this country with a quirk if you used it right. So don't trust your friends, allies. And this is when he's recruited into the League of Villains. Plenty of others like you, more than you think. Yeah, I like this. It's simple. What I'm confused by is last chapter they alluded to some incident where I think I just misunderstood it. They were just talking about his quirk. I thought there was like a gap in our known history of him, where his quirk was like abused to make a ton of clones that were like enlisted into something. I like thought that was the case for some reason. All of this history, I can kind of like, I think I can kind of, I'd sort of inferred that it must be like this. At any rate, he does have quite the quirk. Like, this really drives home how powerful and devastating he could have been. And it's clear now why the Meta Liberation Army is so eager to recruit him. Sure, he either for your current place. That's unity between them. So he deploys another 2 clones. Toga's head still twisting, presumably. But they're rough. Grab his arm. Break it. Oh god. This is so brutal. And the fact that the clones are designed in appearance to look exactly like him, just for additional psychological damage, but that really they're dumb, unfeeling remote control robots carrying out this ultra-violence is just so brutal. It's so, like, frustrating, you know? To stare down a villain, to stare down an intelligent enemy, and to know that there's a mutual recognition of the situation, and that there's some reciprocal emotion that they're feeling from your anguish. That's one thing. That's bad enough, to be sure. But this, to know that they don't even comprehend what they're doing, that you're suffering and you're just watching these unfeeling things carry out a set of motions. Oh god, like, this is really disturbing. And it's sure going to be satisfying when this hackerman gets his face punched in by the Goodens. Break his arms, now his legs. Doesn't have to be this way, just come quietly. Oh god. Just something about the way they're just twisting her neck. The systematicness of it, done with these mechanical hands. It's so disturbing. Hurts like hell, but I'm still here. Walking on angels. Oh, trying to... Oh, yes, yes. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's right. Remember he said just a broken bone would be enough to make them vanish. And at the time, I thought he was just talking about how easy it is for them to just massacre each other and how much carnage he had to watch. But he was worried he wasn't the original one. He was worried that he, at some point, he had gotten mixed up and he was actually one of the doubles, right? Which is, I think, a pretty realistic concern if you're feeling a little batty, as they said, and you've been cloning yourself like this. So, this whole time, he's been trying to avoid major injuries, and now the arms being broken is proof. Is proof. And he's going to get a power-up. You know. Toga's head almost 180 degrees from where it ought to be. Jesus Christ. So long, this whole time, making mistake after mistake after mistake. It would have been simple enough to try offing myself to know once and for all, but no, I just kept running and stumbling and falling until I fell right in with them, with her. Oh. This is, okay, I really like the inversion of like the typical power-ups of this arc. I talked about it a bit ago when I was saying that Shigareki was kind of in shonen protagonist mode. That he took a break from the fight to talk about his plans and his ideals and remembering the power of sheer destructive nihilism and stuff and how it was a similar pattern to a shonen hero, but with all the major beats kind of like inverted. And then Toga had a similar sort of thing. We like learned her backstory, and basically I would say her conclusion internally was like, I'm just going to become even more obsessive. I'm just going to become more of who I am, even though it's gotten me in all this trouble so far. And then with that, she was able to level up her quirk and pull off the huge killer comeback. And here the same sort of thing is happening. That his big power-up is having his arms broken. Having his arms broken and having his mind like snap along with it is gonna be the big power-up. Move aside, you fakes. Oh, he's using it. His quirk is coming out. I won't let a friend die. My quirk is double. Gonna learn how terrifying it really is, Liberation Army. Alright, this is exciting. And Toga's quirk, when you think about it too, has actually leveled up to like an absurd degree. The combination of being able to disguise yourself as someone and use their quirk is like unreal. You know, it's pretty much, well, aside from the fact that she needs to harvest the blood and such first, it feels strictly better than that Class B guy who can emulate quirks. This is like terrifying levels of power for a terrorist organization like this to wield against the heroes. All right, this chapter was called "All It Takes Is One Bad Day," which is, I guess, the lesson of Twice's backstory. If it wasn't for that guy running out in front of his motorcycle, who knows where he could have ended up. All right, an exciting chapter. This villain arc continues, and it's really interesting. The more it skews towards a normal shonen arc, of course, an inverted shonen arc, but the more they kind of structure things the way I'm used to arcs in this series going, the better and better I think it gets. It's really cool in the way that they're able to pull that off. That you're just excited to see things play out in kind of the expected pattern, knowing that the whole time there's going to be all sorts of crazy inversions. Meanwhile, of course, Dabi's fight still rages on against the Iceman. I'm thinking we could see a flashback for him too, but of course, I subscribe to the theory that he is one of Todoroki's older brothers, so that could be quite a revelation of a flashback. Shigareki is running around dusting people. I think we're probably going to see some focus of him kind of near the end of this arc, maybe when Gigantomachia is showing up again. And there's still Compress running around too. We haven't seen what he's up to lately. Definitely one of the most mysterious characters remaining in the League of Villains. We know basically nothing about his backstory. He seems like pretty well together mentally, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him. Okay, good chapter. Can't wait for the next one. Bye-bye for now.